Hi, my name is Laura Buckland, and I'm going to do a kind of short talk about my career, mainly based on the last 10 years since I graduated from my BA. I came to Norwich in 2007 to study for my BA at Norwich University of the Arts. Part of how I've got to where I am now is due to kind of building up a kind of network around me over the last 10 years. And my work life has been very bitty. It still is a bit bitty. But in a way, it's kind of allowed for me to be able to do my own practice as well as to teach, and as well as to learn as well. So I graduated in 2010 from my degree, and one of the main things that I realised in my third year was that I was going to lose access to the facilities at university. So one of the first things I wanted to try and do was to find a way of continuing my practice, particularly in etching. My passion is for copperplate etching and using traditional printmaking techniques, and you do need a lot of equipment for that. So one of the first things I did when I graduated was I emailed the Norwich Print Fair website. I was contacted by an artist called Martin Mitchell, who still has a studio at Muspole Street, and he basically gave me a bit of a lifeline because he had a press, and he offered me the opportunity to go to his studio and to learn a method called mezzotint, which is one of the oldest intaglio methods of printmaking. He didn't have the facilities for etching itself, but he did have a press, and that enabled me to actually learn this new technique and to just continue my practice using different methods as well. In 2011, I applied for the Norwich Print Fair and got a place in the exhibition, and that was really important as a way of widening my network, but also of being part of something that was specifically printmaking, and I've taken part in it over the years since. In 2012, I, through the Norwich Print Fair, met a lady called Ginny Hanbury, who offered me the opportunity to come and work with her as a technician for adult education. And that was a real foot in the door in terms of a starting point for working within the creative industries. And yeah, through that I ended up doing my Petals course, which is preparing to teach in the lifelong learning sector. At the time that was a 3-month course, and I learned the basics of teaching for adult education. Gave me the qualification to go ahead and start doing some workshops of my own. So when Ginny then went on a sabbatical, I took over the courses that she was teaching and ended up teaching a level 2 and a level 3 city and guilds in printmaking specifically. And also I started up my own leisure courses in relief printing and in intaglio as well. So I started to get a real feel for things, but still wasn't quite getting full-time work. At the time, my main job was working at a pub as well. So in the end, I applied to do some learning support at Wensum Lodge, and I ended up working with adults in drawing, painting and ceramics, doing one-to-one support work. And then off the back of that, I applied for a job at City College Norwich to be a learning supervisor, working with teenagers across the creative arts department there. And when I got that job, I was then able to give up the pub job that I was doing and focus on teaching mainly. At the same time as all of this, I did some voluntary work for an artist called Aidan Kirkpatrick out in Loddon, which is just outside Norwich. And he was a very traditional printmaker, had over 50 years of experience. and he needed some assistance with printing his plates. So he taught me how to apply or leave a plate tone on the surface of a copper plate, and how to do specific wiping methods. And that was really fundamental because he was a very traditional artist, and he sent his work out to Bruges to be sold. So I was kind of a part of that editioning process. And when he passed away, his wife and I had a conversation about the press, and in the end I offered what I could for it. So at the time I was having some conversations with Joe Stafford from Print to the People about wanting to start up some etching facilities there. And in the end, we took on the press at Print to the People, and that's how I got involved there. So in 2015, the press was taken to the new studio at Pitt Street, which is near Anglia Square, and I helped to kind of renovate it a bit and set up some etching courses at Print to the People. And I now do weekend courses and evening open access sessions there. So as well as working at Wensum Lodge as a teacher and as at City College as a supervisor, I also started running these courses through Print to the People as well. So I had a few strings to my bow. And then in 2014 to 2016, I decided to do my full teacher training. So I applied to do that through City College, as I was working there already. And I achieved my diploma in education and training in 2016, which is a level 5 qualification. And that then enabled me to branch out a little bit further with my teaching, and I started working as a sessional tutor at City College, working on the Foundation Art Diploma. This was a really exciting opportunity to teach on this course, because I did a foundation course myself, and it was really fundamental to that foundation before starting university. It really secured in my mind that I wanted to continue with my artwork and pursue it further. So I really love working on the course, because it's a course where the students really come into their own and are able to kind of discover what they're really interested in. So I now work at City College as a sessional tutor as well. And then in 2018, I left Wensum Lodge because I was starting to get some more work through City College, and I decided to also study for my Masters. So in 2017, I applied to do my Masters at Anglia Ruskin University, and really this is where I started to really hone in on my practice, because when I did my degree at NUA, I had a lot of fun, but I also really kind of had a kind of starting point to everything. Really, it gave me that initial spark, and it inducted me and trained me in a lot of skills that I didn't have before. But doing my Masters actually 7 years on was a really wonderful opportunity to re-engage with my practice at a later stage, and to develop more as an artist. And I now do see myself as an artist, though I was planning to have my first solo show this year. I hope to do it next year. I mainly work with etching still, but I've started looking into kind of installation work, and also artist books and things as well as photography. So photography has become quite a big part of my process as well. When I finished my Masters at the end of last year, I was offered the opportunity to teach on the BA at Anglia Ruskin University. So I've been working with second years teaching the printmaking module, And again, this has been a fantastic opportunity just to be able to share my skills, but also to further develop my teaching, and to work with a wider network within the creative industry. So a question that I think a lot of people who go to art school are asked by others is, well, what are you going to do with that? And I wanted to just give some advice to anyone who is thinking of doing an art degree or going down this route. Yes, my life is quite bitty, and my income isn't what it could be, and you know, it's not always been easy. But one of the main things I learned through doing an art degree was how to be flexible, how to problem solve, and how to make the most of the contacts that you make. So in order to do what you want and to achieve that, you've just got to stick at it, and make sure that you make time for your artwork, whatever you end up doing as a job, as long as you keep doing your artwork as well and finding time for it. That's the main thing. Cool. Thank you. Bye.